Welcome. I'd like to officially call this meeting to order, the mayor and council. And at this time, I would ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and or reflection as we think about the Mottola family in the Milford. Sally Mottola passed away last Friday. She was a board worker and the spouse of Frank Mottola, a member of our planning board. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the
flag
of
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the mayor and council of the borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the borough hall, and notices have been sent to the record in the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people, within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. Being that this meeting is being held virtually, I need to mention the following. All participants are muted during the meeting. Anyone wishing to make a comment or ask a question can do so at such time as the meeting is open to the public for comment during public hearings on any ordinances by hitting the button to raise your hand or by typing a message in the chat box. You'll need to state your name and address for the record. Members of the public may also submit written comments for any future remote meetings by either email to cdemiris@newmilfordborough.com or written letter to the borough clerk. Written comments must be received by 4 p.m. on the day of the remote meeting in order to be read into the record during the meeting. Members of the public commenting during a remote meeting shall not act in any manner to disrupt the meeting. If anyone becomes disruptive during the meeting, they will be muted. If time permits, the disruptive individual shall be allowed to speak after all other members of the public are provided an opportunity to comment. Any continued disruption may result in a member being prevented from speaking during the remainder of this meeting. Disruptive conduct includes, but is not limited to, shouting, interruption, and the use of profanity. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Present.
Councilman Seymour.
Present.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotzky.
Here.
Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Present.
Council President Grant.
Here.
Mayor Petrino.
Here. Okay, under unfinished business, can I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the April 12th, 2021 work session?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item of business is to adopt ordinance 2021:04. And when the clerk has a chance, I would ask her to read it.
Calendar year 2021 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limits and to establish a cap bank.
Okay, this is an ordinance that we adopt annually, establishes the cap bank and provides us with a safety net for the next 2 years in our budgets, just in case of emergencies or anything happens. May I get a motion to open up to the public for
Motion.
hearing on this ordinance?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any comments on ordinance 2021:04, now is your opportunity.
Yes, we have a member of the public that would wish to speak.
Okay, just please give us your name and your address for the record.
You're on mute right now.
Hello, Chris, you're on mute.
Sorry, it was an accident. I'm new to this.
No, no problem. You have a question about this ordinance?
How do I do it? No, I don't. Am I still on?
Okay.
No, I don't. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I'd ask for a motion to close to the public.
So
Motion.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I would ask for a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading.
Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Rocky Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanyusin,
yes,
Council President Grant.
Yes.
This ordinance is officially adopted. Okay. May I get a motion to waive the reading in full of the 2021 municipal budget?
Motion.
So moved. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Rocky Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Although I was hoping that Mr. Wilcox would read the entire budget,
Thanks, pal.
I want to say thank you for all your guidance during the process, and I vote yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanyusin,
yes,
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Now we will have our 2021 municipal budget public hearing. May I get a motion to open to the public for the municipal
So
hearing?
moved. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if you have any questions regarding the 2021 municipal budget, now is your opportunity.
Right now, we only have one person in attendance. Oh, somebody just popped on. There's two people in attendance. No one has indicated that they would like to speak on the budget, Mayor.
May I get a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Mr. Wilcox, is there anything at this time you'd like to speak about the budget? Since you came to the meeting and everything, you know.
Thank you, Mayor. So you just had the public hearing on the budget you introduced 4 weeks ago. This year we were under state review, and they were pretty rigorous. They asked for a whole bunch of stuff that was pretty much irrelevant to the process, but we did our best to satisfy them. Just some quick highlights. The budget itself, the spending is up less than 1%, 0.82 of 1%. Pension went up 58,000. Insurance is going up 147,000. BCUA 82,000 and change. And again, once again, all the other expenses, all the departments, all the services are $33,000 less in appropriations than they were in 2020. So once again, you continue to hold the line on the controllable expenses, but we still are subject to things like insurance and pension and BCUA that we have no control over. That the bill is the bill, it is what it is, we have to pay it. Having said that, the impact to the average residential assessment, which is a shade under $330,000, stands at $69 for the year. So a little over $5 a month. Now, my recommendation is that we don't adopt the budget tonight, that we carry it to the next meeting or two, because as everybody is aware, the new federal stimulus bill includes money for every municipality, every county, every government throughout the country. And one of the things that we've read is allowable, although there are no guidelines published yet, is revenue replacement. So in order for there to be a possibility that we could use some of that money to further reduce the $69 tax increase, we would have to not adopt the budget now to give the state more time, well, the feds more time and the state more time to get out some rules and regulations in order to get some of this money, maybe get some of this money into the budget as revenue replacement in order to reduce the tax increase by some amount below $69. No, there's no negative impact to the town because the county probably won't be introducing their budget till sometime in June because they're looking at the same thing. They're getting a significant amount of new federal money, and we're looking for guidance that the law says can be used. One of the things is revenue replacement. So they're holding off because they've got some revenue issues from 20 to 19 that need to be addressed. So the tax bills won't get held up because we're going to do estimated third quarter bills like we did last year. So it won't affect the town's cash flow. It really won't affect anything other than continuing to give us the ability that if we get the guidance to maybe use some of that money to reduce the tax increase even further. So I mean, to me, it makes sense.
I think that's a good idea. I think, with a little patience, we may be able to reduce the tax burden a little bit. So we should take advantage of the program while it's there. Does anyone else have a question on the budget from the council? Anything for Steve?
Yes, I completely agree that this is a good idea, but I'm wondering if there's an absolute deadline by which we have to pass the budget.
Well, there's a statutory deadline which is already passed. And this, and we the professionals, we asked the state if they would give us some guidance and use some guidance to extend the budget calendar formally for a little bit in order to see what happens with these regulations. And they have declined to do that. But again, I think you have to look at your individual situation and whether we adopt the budget tonight or don't adopt the budget tonight, we're not going to get a tax rate till July. And that's really, you adopt the budget, the county does their thing, the school does their thing, and then once everything's certified to the county board, they strike the rate so then you can get the bills printed.
Thank you.
That's not going to happen for a while. So there's really no other negative to the town other than a little patience. Maybe we can reduce the proposed tax increase to help the residents and the taxpayers. And maybe we won't be able to, but there's really nothing negative about waiting 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks to, I would say if we don't have any guidance by June or by the end of May, then, we're going to have to make a different decision at that point. But right now, we don't hurt ourselves by waiting. And the only thing that can come out of it is either stays the same or a positive impact to the taxpayers.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Well,
Fingers crossed.
If that's the wish of the council, I would ask for someone to make a motion to not adopt the budget tonight and wait for further guidance from our auditor.
Well, can I make a suggestion before you make a motion? We're really just adjourning this, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah.
Because if you don't adopt the budget, you got to reintroduce.
No, you're tabling any action to a future meeting.
You don't want to table either because then it can't come off the table. You just adjourn.
Okay.
Whatever the lawyer says.
Move to adjourn the
budget adoption.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Wilcox.
Very much, very
I know
nice,
you have
nice to see
you have
everybody.
You have to Zoom to another meeting, so we'll let you go. this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that's,
Thank you, Steve.
you said it very, very appropriately.
Yes.
But
Good
this is a
evening,
good
Mr.
Zoom because I'm
Wilcox.
not jumping in my car and driving 80 miles an hour across Bergen County to get somewhere else. I just have to click off and click on.
Nice.
Thank you, Steve.
Excellent.
And thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night. And Chris,
too.
I'll keep you updated as to when information is filtered through to us, and you can keep the council up to date.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
You
Good
too.
night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chris, since we're, just before we move on, I don't know that we should adjourn it without a date. Why don't we just adjourn it to next meeting and just keep it week to week or meeting to meeting?
All right.
But do I need a new motion for that?
I think it's an amendment to the motion just because it was open-ended.
Okay.
I'll amend,
So if whoever was the movant could just amend that we carry it to the next meeting, and then we'll deal with it then. If there's no guidance, we'll continue.
I believe it was
I move
Council
that we-
President Grant.
I move that we amend my original proposal and adjourn this until our next meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Sure, yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Okay. This is adjourned till our next meeting. Okay, now we have an adoption of ordinance 2021:06. And when the clerk has an opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 30, Article 4, Section 30-20.6 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled Prohibited Uses to prohibit the operation of any class of cannabis business within its geographical boundaries.
Okay. So we needed to reintroduce this.
This, Mr. Mayor, if I can, for the members of the council, this was done at my recommendation. We introduced it, but did not make the referral to the planning board for a comment as is required by the municipal land use law. The section of the borough ordinance that's being impacted is part of our zoning code, making it prohibited use. And so I recommended that this just be reintroduced and that the referral be made, and then we could take action in the ordinary course.
Yes, and it was under the same terms where the boroughs have 180 days to opt out. They can opt in at any time. So I would ask for a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
And I believe the public hearing will be on June 14th.
Yes, Mayor, I set the date out in order to give the planning board the sufficient time to review it.
No problem. And we're going to back up because I believe we have an ordinance adoption, 06.
Yes, we got excited and moved forward. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $164,750 for the installation of bench covers at Kennedy Field in, by, and for the Borough of New Milford, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a county grant and from the Open Space Trust Fund of the borough.
Yes, this is to appropriate funds from the BCOS grant that we received and the balance from our open space trust fund for the bench covers at the softball fields at Kennedy. May I get a motion to open to the public for this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions about this ordinance, about the bench covers at Kennedy Field, now is your opportunity.
Nobody has indicated that they wish to speak on this ordinance, Mayor.
May I get a motion to close to the public?
Motion to close to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Let's do a roll call.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Ordinance is officially adopted. All right. Since we jumped ahead, I think let's go through the rest of the introductions and then I'll go back to the proclamations.
Mr. Mayor, can I interrupt for 1 minute? I'm just reviewing Robert's rules on Council President Grant's motion, and they use a specific term instead of adjourn as to the budget. It's to postpone. So just so we're consistent and it's still within the same meeting, so there's no prejudice to it, I would just recommend another amendment that it be postponed to the next meeting. We just go from that week to week until Steve gives us more guidance. So it's really just the nomenclature, but I don't want to inadvertently have our budget fall through.
No,
So
no problem.
I'd like to amend my motion to
To use the term postpone as opposed to
term
adjourn.
postpone instead of adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Second. I'm sorry.
I'll ask for another roll call, please.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
So is someone going to make a motion for no more amendments on Hetty's motion?
I do.
Okay. We have an introduction of ordinance 2021:8. When the clerk has a moment, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $25,000 for the construction of an ADA walkway at Prospect Park in, by, and for the Borough of New Milford in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a federal grant and from the Open Space Trust Fund of the borough.
Yes, this is for ADA access to Prospect Park. The total is $25,000. We will be using $18,840 from community development funds and the balance from the New Milford Open Space Trust Fund. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion to introduce. Moved.
May I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
And the public hearing on this ordinance will be on May 10th, at our May 10th meeting. Okay, looks like we have one more. Ordinance 2021:09. When the clerk has an opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 13 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled Fire Prevention, thereby amending subsection 13-1.8 entitled Additional Required Inspections and Fees.
Okay, this is to update our inspection fees for the uniform fire safety. So the last time these fees were raised, it was 1992. So for anyone watching, the first person who texts or emails me and tells me what grade I was in 1992, I will send you a prize. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on the first reading?
Motion.
What's the prize,
Second.
Mayor?
That's a surprise too.
Yeah.
May I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Starkey,
Present. Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Okay, this ordinance will be up for adoption at our May 10th meeting as well. Okay. I'm going to go back up to the top and do the proclamations. The first one I'm going to do is mental health awareness. Make sure I have this. Okay. Office of the Mayor proclamation. Whereas mental health is a part of overall health, and whereas mental health helps to sustain an individual's thought processes, relationships, productivity, and ability to adapt to change or face adversity. And whereas mental illness adversely affects those abilities and often is life-threatening in nature. And whereas 1 in 4 adults experience mental health problems in any given year, and such problems can contribute to the onset of mental illness. And whereas as 1 in 17 adult lives with mental illness, such as a major depression, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia, and whereas approximately 1/2 of chronic mental illness begins by the age of 14 and 3/4 by the age of 24. Whereas long delays, sometimes decades, often occurs between the time symptoms first appear and when an individual gets help. And whereas early identification and treatment can make a profound difference in successful management of mental illness and recovery. And whereas it is important to maintain mental health and learn the symptoms of mental illness in order to get help when it is needed. And whereas every citizen and community can make a difference in helping to end the silence and stigma that for too long has surrounded mental illness and discouraged people from getting help. Whereas public education and civic activities can encourage mental health and help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental illness. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Mayor Michael J. Petrino, proclaim the month of May 2021 as Mental Health Awareness Month in the Borough of New Milford to increase public understanding of the importance of mental health and to promote identification and treatment of mental illness.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Okay. This one is going to be for Maternal Health Awareness Month. Office of the Mayor proclamation. New Jersey's 4th annual Maternal Wellness Day. Whereas New Jersey is committed to the health and well-being of the women and families in our state. And whereas New Jersey was one of the first states in the nation to establish a Maternal Health Awareness Day. And whereas on this 4th annual Maternal Health Awareness Day, the Borough of New Milford supports the efforts and initiatives of the state of New Jersey and its various partners and recognizes that every woman deserves quality, affordable, and culturally respectful maternal health care, and reaffirms a statewide commitment to reduce maternal mortality, morbidity, the racial health disparities among New Jersey's women. And whereas we are focused on improving maternal health outcomes, women's experiences at childbirth, and critical postpartum care, especially for women of color. And whereas according to America's Health Rankings annual report, New Jersey ranked 45th in the country for maternal mortality with 42 days of pregnancy. And whereas over half of the negative maternal outcomes and deaths in New Jersey are preventable. And whereas collaborative action is needed among public health leaders, government agencies, health systems, clinicians, and elected officials to address this problem. And whereas many state agencies and partnerships with community-based organizations have a role in helping to reduce maternal mortality and improve outcomes, including the Department of Health, the Department of Human Services, the Department of Children and Families, and the Department of Banking and Insurance. And whereas leaders and providers in New Jersey's 49 hospitals with labor and delivery units, federally qualified health centers, and other health services professions are focused on providing quality maternal health care. And whereas in order to improve public and professional awareness of the issues related to maternal health and mortality, To promote the various promising efforts to reduce maternal mortality, morbidity, and disparities, it is both reasonable and appropriate to recognize the 4th Annual Maternal Health Awareness Day in the state in the borough of New Milford, and to annually invite community members and healthcare professionals on this day to participate in the appropriate activities relating to maternal health and safety and mortality. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Michael Petrino, on behalf of Phil Murphy, Governor of the great state of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim May 2021 Maternal Health Awareness Month in New Milford and encourage public officials, residents, businesses to honor and observance of the appropriate activities and programs. Okay. Item number 1, parking of commercial vehicles, boats in residential zones, police.
I'll start, Mayor. We received a request from one of our traffic officers, Lieutenant DeGenio, regarding a request to amend an ordinance, and it pertains to the parking of commercial vehicles in residential zones. And at first he was asking to just amend the ordinance because it listed residential zones, but it did not include all of them. There were 2 zones that were missing. So he wanted to make sure that it was uniform to include all of those zones. And in a subsequent conversation with him, I raised the point about another element of the ordinance regarding parking of boats in residential areas. And he came back with a memo to the mayor and council, or an email, I'm sorry, and he was asking about amending the ordinance to allow for one boat only up to 21 feet to be parked in a residential zone. Currently, the ordinance reads that no boat in excess of 18 feet. It doesn't limit it to just one, and it's a smaller amount. But more importantly, that part of the ordinance was never properly adopted. So it's 2 elements of the ordinance that he'd like to amend. And I just wanted to make sure there were no questions from the council before I prepared the ordinance for introduction.
I do know that the recommendation for the increase in the size of the boat has to do with the size of trailers and keeping them mobile. And the idea is to keep trailers on driveways or gravel, not on grass. But if the council has any questions about this,
I have a question.
Now's the
Should this not also go to the planning board? It's land use?
It's not a site plan issue.
It would after it was introduced. If the mayor and council introduces the ordinance, it would go to the planning board. It would be referred to the planning board, yes.
And then, Chris, if the planning board decided that there were some elements there that they would like to have changed, what would happen then?
Well, it's up to the mayor and council. You can either take the advice of the planning board or you can decide to adopt it as introduced.
So you say introduce tonight, send to the planning board.
I don't have it ready for introduction tonight. I just wanted to make sure that there were no questions or comments or things that people did want or didn't want to see in the ordinance. I know
Gotcha.
right now it doesn't say about the fact that it has to be on a trailer. Do we need to add that? Do we need to add that it needs to be on a, I know we talked a little bit, Mayor, about paved versus gravel, and I don't know if we can be that specific. I'm not sure if we want to be that specific.
well, I know that's with automobiles have to be on pavement or gravel. They cannot be parked on lawns. And I would imagine boats should also have to be licensed and registered.
And I'm really not in favor of increasing the size of the boat. And also, Chris, what were the other two zones for the commercial?
Yes, the B zone was originally not included and neither was the E zone. The B zone is 2-family and I think the E zone is townhome. Multi-family townhomes.
Okay, so just to be up to date here, we're going to leave it at 18 feet. It can't be on grass, correct? Is that what
It
we're,
can only be one.
and it could only be one.
We didn't really, nobody said, only Randy said what she felt. She doesn't want to see it increased. So I guess it depends on whether or not anybody else feels strongly one way or another. If everybody's in agreement, then we won't increase it, but I'm looking for guidance right now.
Is there a limit on the number of boats?
Well, Nick is suggesting that we limit it to 1, yes. Right now, it just says no boat in excess of, so it doesn't limit the number of them. It just says it can't be larger than a certain size, so.
I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead. Randy, did you want to add something?
No, go ahead. It was me.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I have a question. So if the boat's limited in size, how does the trailer size get factored in? Because the trailer does have to be longer than the boat. So that I'm curious about how that would work out.
Well, I think that's just the hookup, right?
Who are you asking that question to?
General, because the ordinance is about boats. Are trailers going to be included as well?
I don't think that was part of it. I think the point he was trying to make is we don't want to allow a boat that's larger than what can be pulled by a trailer.
When you say trailer, you're talking about what the boat sits on, the thing with wheels that it is
Yes,
pulled? Okay,
right.
just making sure.
Right.
It can, but you could also have it on cinder blocks. So I think Nick's thought process is to make sure they remain on
On the trailer.
the trailer
trailer.
and that it be controlled.
And it's mobile.
That sounds right.
So when we say
Yeah.
21 feet, we're just speaking about the boat itself, as Lisa asked, not the hookup, which is probably another, I don't know, 4 feet.
If it's
Okay.
sitting on the trailer
That
will
sounds
probably
like a
be
guess,
longer
though.
than 21 feet.
Well, it would probably be an appropriate size for the boat, I would imagine.
I would imagine.
And does the trailer have to be licensed?
We're not putting anything about the trailer in the ordinance. We were just trying to make sure that the boat that we were allowing could be pulled by a trailer. It was small enough to be pulled by a trailer. And from Nick's point of view, that would mean it couldn't be more than 21 feet in order to be pulled by a trailer.
To
And
Kevin's,
in general, trailers are typically 2 feet longer than the boat itself.
to Kevin's thing, if it's on cinder blocks, do we
Right.
want to allow something like that?
No.
No,
So what we're saying is it has to be sitting on a trailer.
Yes.
And I'm just looking right now. Nick's point is well taken, but you could have a single axle trailer, double axle trailer to accommodate a larger boat. So a trailer can have a pretty big boat. 23-foot boat is a single axle, and you can go above that to 22 feet, up to 23 feet, maximum weight of 3,300 pounds to 3,500 pounds goes into a double axle trailer.
but we don't have to be concerned with that, right?
We just have to
Kevin?
decide, do we want to allow boats? And if
And
so, what size?
Yeah, how big and I think Nick's thought process is limiting it to the trailer size, but I don't think he's thinking of single versus double axle, which could be bigger.
Well, he specifically said 21 feet. Is that correct?
The boat.
Size of the boat, 21 feet.
Right.
So then it's a 23-foot trailer would be the max. That's how you would do it. And I don't know if that's a single or double. I'll tell you that right now.
So
Why would that matter?
we're definitely saying yes to boats on properties, on residential property. we're allowing this?
It's legal.
I'm asking.
What you would be doing is, if there's nothing in the ordinance, you can have anything. So you're trying to put a parameter on it.
Okay.
So are we going with 18, 21, or something else? I know it's going to be limited to one. We want it to be on a trailer, and it needs to be parked on a paved or gravel surface.
Is the
Chris.
number of axles, is that relevant?
We're not talking about the trailer.
Well, I know, well, Kevin brought that up. It could be 1 or 2 axles, and I'm wondering why that might be important, if it is at all.
Well, if you have multiple axles, you could have a bigger boat.
But if we limit the size of the boat, then
Then you should be okay. If it's no longer than 21
we
feet,
have to
then
address that. Right. Right.
Question about the location. Is that something that we would be able to include? Like, you can't put it in your front yard?
Well,
I mean,
Well,
Even if
you
it's
want it in a
paved.
driveway. So
But
it's
some
not,
people have paved yards in the front. Instead of
or
yards.
I'm just, you know, you have a double driveway, but your cars are there. So then what would you do? Install some gravel on the side of your garage maybe and put it there. Or if you don't have that, then where's the, you know, maybe a little turnaround behind the shrubs in your front yard? I mean, I don't think that's the intention here. Do we need to put a location or a suggestion of that, or is that implied?
I don't
Well-
think anything's implied.
no, but in order to put the gravel in your front yard, you'd need permission. Because you have to have the coverage checked, because Vince said it does qualify towards impervious
It would be
coverage.
impervious coverage.
But there are houses now that have, instead of dirt or grass front yards, actually have paved front yards. I wouldn't want to see a boat necessarily
No
parked
way.
in the front yard, even if it is paved.
So what we're saying is we don't want boats on the front yard. It will have to be driveway or side yard? This is just.
I mean, seems like something you might want to give a little guidance to. So it's clear.
We're drafting the ordinance, so we need to decide what to put in that. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Chris, do we
What-
know how many our traffic officer is talking about?
No, I don't have any idea right now.
Do you have to get a permit to be able to? No.
it appears the ordinance is saying no boat in excess of 18 feet shall be parked anytime during the day or night on the
Oh.
premises in any residential property except when garaged. So this would open it up. And I do think you have, part of the discussion is, my understanding is there are some people with boats on the side of their house that aren't garaged. So I think they're just trying to,
No, but this is, that's just saying you can't have something more than 18 feet that isn't garaged.
Mhm.
But you can have something up to 18 feet that isn't.
Right.
So then
Excess, yeah.
perhaps we should bring the 21 down to 18.
We'll keep it at
We
18.
did.
It's already at 18.
Well, it is at 18, but for more than one boat, you could have two. Or
His
one boat at
his
21.
recommendation is 21 because of trailers.
that would be the 3 feet additional. So it'd be the trailer and boat.
Well, why not 18 feet plus trailer?
That's
He
what
was
Kevin
talking
They're
just
saying
said.
21-foot boat, then the
He was
trailer's
talking-
going to
He
extend
was
beyond that.
talking about
No.
a 22-foot boat.
I'm sorry, what was that, Chris? He was talking
Was
about,
talking about a 21-foot boat. That was what he proposed.
so
it
that's
doesn't-
not including the trailer.
No.
No,
Oh,
So that'd be
What, 26?
21 feet inclusive of the trailer. But you know, it's 3 feet further out. So
That's
No.
26 feet.
But the trailer is not that's not an issue because that's not really harming anybody. Like that, it's not blocking anybody's view. It's not making shade on their house. I mean, like the trailer is, the size of the trailer, I think it's like a red herring. It's irrelevant. I don't think we should even be talking about the trailer.
No, it's only 2 feet off the ground.
It's the boat.
Well, then why not
It's
keep
the
it at
boat.
18 feet? I'm not sure why there's a reason to.
Keep it at
Number.
18.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
21
no
is
reason to
reasonable
increase
size.
it.
My question, was there any recommendation about the width, a maximum width of the boat?
There wasn't.
21 is a good size length of a boat if you're 30 feet in from the curb to the front. That's covering quite a bit of property.
So do you want to take the recommendation of 21 or leave it at 18?
I would leave it at 18.
As
18.
would I, 18. One boat at 18. With the trailer 2-3 feet extending.
Driveway and side yard only?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think it should be side yard only, not driveway. Because by driveway, it's in front of the house.
No, you have to let
No.
people sit on their driveway.
A driveway can go all the way further up to the side of their house as
But many
well.
don't, but many don't. Some do, but many don't.
I think 21 feet is reasonable, actually. A lot of boats are 21 feet. And the 3
boats
feet,
are what?
I don't think matters that much. That's my feeling.
Oh, good. Then if it doesn't matter, let's do 18.
Right, I agree. I'll go with that.
My feeling,
One of Nick's points that he made in the email was that there are a lot of RVs that are out there that are more than twice the size of 18-foot boats.
Well, then.
Perhaps we
at
should
some
look at
point,
that
maybe we
ordinance.
should talk about RVs.
Yeah.
But that's not part of this ordinance.
So 21 or 18?
18.
18.
Matt?
I think 18. I don't see a reason to change it.
So everyone's 18 except for Ira. So
Well,
18.
and myself, 21, so
21, okay.
21's a
Somebody's-
standard size.
that's my thinking.
21 is pretty standard.
Yeah.
21
So
is
what-
really long.
Why don't we put this into the ordinance and send it back to Nick and just let him know what the council thought? And if he, for some reason, says, has to be 21, then he can send another memo to see if it changes anyone's mind.
Why would it have to be 21?
No.
I don't think it has to go back to him. It was a recommendation he made. He said, I don't think that it was too much. There are mobile homes that are double that size, but that was just his opinion. I don't think we need to send it back to him.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay.
And I think just for the record, we should go back and look at RVs.
Well, we can put that on a future agenda then.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, number 2. Restrict parking on Main Street, police.
Yes, that was another memo from Lieutenant DeGenio, April 5th. He's requesting that the north side of Main Street between River Road and Summit Avenue be made into a 2-hour parking zone. Let's see, this request is due to business complaints in the area with regard to vehicles using Main Street and restricting customer parking. I conducted a canvass of the businesses and also provided a written letter to all the businesses on Main Street between River Road and Boulevard. Several responses were received, or I spoke with several businesses directly during my canvass. There was a mixed reaction, with businesses between River Road and Summit welcoming a time restriction to assist the customer parking. Others did not have any preference or did not respond. Businesses from Summit to Boulevard were either opposed to a time limit, did not respond, or did not have a preference. Those
Makes
opposed
sense.
stated that they use the street for employee and customer parking. 2 hair salons stated they leave whatever parking lot spaces for customers to use, and street for the overflow, which can turn into customers being parked for longer than 2 hours. In an attempt to further the borough's commitment to support businesses, the above compromise is felt to support the needs of all businesses on Main Street. So that's again from River Road to Summit Avenue, the north side of Main Street. And if there's no objection, I will prepare the ordinance for introduction.
No objection.
Fine.
Okay
Sounds
with me.
good.
Yeah, this is good.
Yep.
Item number 3 is community project funding submission. So as everyone is aware, they read it in the newspaper. The Glory Day Lutheran Church put the church up for sale. Kind of around the same time, there was a federal grant for community development that could fund up to $250,000. We had made a submission for $250,000 in the event that we would make an offer, in case the borough made an offer at Glory Day to acquire the property. Because I know senior center is something that we're always thinking about moving forward. My understanding from the church is that they have 3 offers for more than what the borough would be willing to offer. And even with the grant, right now the borough would not be competitive. So we have pulled the plug on the grant, since I believe the church will be taking an offer from another church. So the timing didn't work out for us, but maybe there'll be another opportunity in the future.
Okay.
Shame.
Fifth grade car wash.
Yes.
Fifth car wash.
Okay. This is a request that we received, let's see, back in February, for the 5th grade car wash, which is a combined effort of the 2 elementary schools. They wanted to tentatively schedule the car wash for behind the Borough Hall on Saturday, May 8th, with a rain date of May 15th. So back in February, we were kind of in a different place about what was and wasn't being allowed at that point. And we had said to them at the time that we would revisit it as the date approached. So I spoke with Kevin, and he spoke with Art regarding where things stand right now. And Kevin came back with an email, and he said he reviewed the EO and the latest emergency declaration. It's a private event asking to use a public parking lot. It's completely outdoors. Previously, we had said no events at all of any kind at the height of the pandemic. For right now, the EOs have been relaxed. I do not see a specific prohibition on this specifically in the EO. An outdoor gathering in theory would be permitted as long as it's under 50 and all other safety protocols are followed. We've now relaxed our emergency declaration to allow some of the borough's programs regarding rec sports, usage of the fields, and Hardcastle Fishing Derby, to the extent that they comply with the other requirements. I think the borough can also try the PD youth program, since the borough is running it and it's analogous to the rec programs and other things permitted. He said, I believe you can permit the car wash so long as the COVID waiver is filled out by all participants and they confirm in writing how they plan to comply with the guidelines. I spoke with Art, and he believes that they provide us with an insurance certificate each year, and he didn't see a problem with this. I don't know, Kevin, if you wanted to add anything else.
I think actually the governor increased the limit to, I think it's up to 200 outside. So there's nothing I really have to add. I think the most important thing I put in just my recommendation is this is a case-by-case basis. Oftentimes you'll take one action and the borough employees, the borough officials looked at, well, what are we going to do in this situation? What are we going to do in that situation? And I don't know. I mean, this is just a moving target in many ways. It looks like we're going in the right direction. I think you have to just approach this on a case-by-case basis. And this is as good a case as any In my opinion, it's, it's controlled, it's something you've done for years. It's bringing you back to some normalcy, or at least bringing the kids back to some normalcy. And quite frankly, I can't see it being less contact. I mean, they're washing, people are inside the car, the kids are outside. As long as they're social distancing, I really don't see any difference between that and someone being on the field. So that said, I didn't think it was something the borough could not consider safely. Art's of the same mind. This is kind of a good one to start out with. Doesn't mean, green light for everything, because the governor hasn't said that yet. They may very well be doing that, but he hasn't done so at this time. So at least for the moment, I think we approach it case by case, and this is the first case to come up to the governing body.
Well, I know my car needs to be washed. What date is it? Did you say
May
May 8th?
May 8th.
Yes.
Rain date, May 15th.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's
Yeah.
fun.
I'm
bring people
signing up
out.
to be a volunteer.
That's awesome.
Fill out the waiver.
Will do.
And it's not me requiring the waiver, it's the GIF. So
Right.
Okay, schedule updates. We had a bunch of events over this past weekend, which I will let Councilwoman Sandhusen fill us in on later. But the only thing upcoming that I have as a borough event is Memorial Day. Memorial Day will be on Memorial Day, which is May 31st. The ceremony will be at 10 a.m. on the Borough Hall lawn. Public Events has cemented that time, and that's what it's going to be. That's the only upcoming event I have at this time. Item number 6 is the COVID-19 Task Force report. Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. The COVID-19 Task Force met on Thursday, April 15th, with reports from the Police Department, Fire Department, OEM, Ambulance, Health Department, Administration, DPW, Recreation, the Board of Ed, and the Mayor and Council. Topics discussed included the vaccination site status and upcoming spring and summer events. The next meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, April 29th.
And the big news on the vaccination site is that Milford has been able to secure 100 doses of Moderna, which will be administered on Wednesday. New Milford still has their supply of J&J, and we are just waiting for all of that to be cleared before we resume that. So the clinic will be open on Wednesday. Everyone who is pre-registered got an email about that. So if people are, want Moderna, they're going to have an opportunity to get that as well. I know slowly New Milford is opening up to other towns outside of New Milford as we get more and more vaccines. So that's
Mayor, I understand there are a couple of places in Bergen County where you don't need an appointment. I think people need to keep checking. I think Valley and Bergen Medical Center are two. I'm not 100% sure of Valley, but people should check.
Yes, people should constantly continue to try to book appointments in places outside of New Milford as well. I mean, the goal is to get everyone who wants a vaccination, to get one as soon as possible. So New Milford is just another option. So keep all of your options open and try to get a vaccine anywhere you can. Administrator's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The declaration of intent for the Sutton Place Tennis Courts Lighting Project has been approved by Bergen County Open Space. The application is being prepared for submission by the May 14th deadline. The project must be advertised and a public hearing must be held prior to submission. The hearing is going to be advertised, I believe, on Wednesday, the 28th, and the hearing itself will be held on May 10th. Regarding the Madison Avenue sidewalk project, the engineer has advised that we have received feedback from the DEP from the pre-application meeting that was held in March. They have indicated that we can submit the application using safety to justify the benefits versus the negative impact. The engineer advised there is a risk that we could file the application and not be able to obtain the permit, but they are going to do their best to design it in such a way to address the DEP's concerns. We are proceeding with the application for a permit. Earlier today, pretty much at the close of business, I emailed the mayor and council with a request for an additional resolution to the consent agenda. It came from the police department, and it is a resolution to support the denial of parole for Christopher Rigetti. He is imprisoned right now for the August 31st, 1976 murder of Kim Montalaro. And periodically this comes before the mayor and council every time he comes up for parole. Kim was a New Milford resident, and they're asking the mayor and council if they would consider this resolution. So if there's any interest, I would ask if somebody would make a motion to add it to the consent agenda tonight as resolution 2021-135.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 2021:135 has been added.
Yes. Okay. And then I think the only other thing that I have on my report is to report that the next meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 10th.
What day?
May 10th.
May 10th, that is the Monday following Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And
Happy Mother's Day.
3 days after my birthday.
Oh, somebody get a cake.
Just saying, you know. Okay. Can I get a motion to file council committee reports?
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
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 Okay. Since council committee reports are filed, if there are any highlights, we can hear them now, and we're going to start with Council President Grant.
Yes, there was an exciting event today. I'm really happy about this. It's been a long time in the works. The first two standalone sculptures were installed at the New Milford Public Library. Yes, yes. It would have been
That's
done a
great.
year ago, but you know what happened. The others will be installed within the next few weeks, I hope, and hopefully we'll have big festivities at some point to celebrate that. The one in front, the two that have been installed are by Ula Novina, and she's the president of the Sculptors Affiliate of the Art Center of Northern New Jersey. The one in the front is called Soaring, and the one in the back is called Rune Stone, R-U-N-E. And so I urge you to go take a look at them. They're really interesting pieces, and I think you'll find all of them interesting once they're up. So it's very exciting news. I'm very happy for New Milford and for the library as well. And I hope soon the library will be open and more people will be there, but at least people are playing on the field behind the library. So it's a nice addition to the borough. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you. Councilwoman Sandhusen. Any highlights?
I have,
I know you have highlights. So
I know I have, you know, I have highlights.
I know you do.
So
I have highlights, too.
the Environmental Commission had Earth Day celebration yesterday. It was very well attended. It was a dedication at the New Milford Woods Trails, and we found out it was also the 20th anniversary of the Open Space Green Acres programs. And I learned yesterday that New Milford was one of the first to receive benefit of that. So I have a little bit of show and tell. It was really well attended. The New Milford Environmental Commission was recognized for their important conservation of woods and wetlands. In attendance was Ramapo Munsee Lenape Nation Representative Owl. He presented a land acknowledgement. Congressman Gottheimer's office presented a congressional certificate of recognition. I'll intersperse with some fun looks at the covers of these. These will be scanned and uploaded so people can read them. They're really nicely presented. New Jersey legislature presented represented by Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, presented a joint legislative resolution to commend New Milford for their commitment to promoting stewardship of the environment. And their certificates are always lovely. The County of Bergen Board of Commissioners, represented by Chairman Steve Tonelli and Commissioner Tracy Zor, presented a certificate of commendation as well. Oh, trying to do my best here with the camera. And many others of distinction were present, as in addition to the mayor and council. So as I said before, these will be scanned and uploaded in the future to the Environmental Commission page on the borough's official website, along with photos after they've been reviewed. The photos were borough photographer Caden Stevens, a New Milford High School student. We're very grateful for him to be out there to document the event. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, it was a wonderful weekend of events. It was a good time. And I learned a lot. Councilwoman Duffy.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations to the Environmental Commission. After hearing the speakers speak about this land that's preserved and how the Environmental Commission has just renewed their commitment for the borough, I think it's wonderful. So it was really quite an emotional experience being there yesterday. So thank you for that. I do have an announcement. Sunday, 10 o'clock. The Beautification Committee will be over at Holland Avenue to do our first of a few cleanups. So please bring gloves, rakes, and clippers. We're not going to belabor it, just get a few things done, and we're going to do these, hit and run type things to the parks as we go. I also just really want to make a mention that this April, congratulations to our borough for 3 things that happened. The borough began replanting some borough trees. There was a reforest plantings on the Blue Acres property, and the Scouts gave out tree saplings. These 3 events just connected Arbor Day with Earth Day, and truly it demonstrated the commitment of our borough to continue to green our space for our residents, for our employees. And I'm just so proud that that happened this month. So I just want to make a mention of that. And thank you to the Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Department of Public Works, the mayor and council, the administration, and anyone else that took part in these events. Thank you so much. That's my report.
Thank you. And I will say the tree giveaway, it's the largest turnout I've seen in a long time, which was very, very encouraging. And, the Girl Scouts were so excited to teach people about the trees that they were giving out. It was a lot of fun. Councilman Seymour.
Well, I just want to echo what Councilwoman Duffy and what Councilwoman Sandhusen said. It's so important to protect our environment. So really proud to be a resident of our town with everything that's been happening, which is great in terms of the trees, the planting, and of course, I can only echo how amazing it was to attend the opening to New Milford Woods, the dedication this past weekend. What a great job. The Environmental Commission did a fantastic job, and really, Councilwoman Sandhusen, thank you for spearheading that and for your hard work and your dedication. It certainly came through. And also, of course, I'd give a lot of credit to our DPW. They always work very hard and also always do a great job. And it was nice to see it all come together as well as it did. In terms of highlights, as I'm sure everyone is aware of by now, all of our schools in New Milford are now have the combined cohorts Monday through Friday, which was, you know, a lot of hard work and patience that made that happen. So I certainly congratulate the Board of Ed on their hard work and our school administrators on working as hard as they have, and also credit our residents for being as patient as they have. And the New Milford Municipal Alliance has been working very hard towards putting forth another, what I'm sure will be fantastic wellness event on May 23rd. Details will be finalized shortly. Very much looking forward to that. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor. Things have been a little quiet, but we're working hard to create things. As the mayor already said, with our events on Memorial Day, which is May 31st, we start at 10 a.m. Our senior center, Lynn has been busy with either her yoga classes or her outdoor classes, perhaps maybe trying to start, well, no, I'll let her, I won't say that. She also spearheaded and helped us for historic, as everyone, as I've said in the past, working on the oral history. So she had gotten a number of seniors that were interested in doing that. And the only other thing also, which is historic events, is the cemetery, as we do every year, our own special historic cemetery will be open on May 28th, 7 p.m. Where you can walk around and see the tombstones that are there, and hear just a little history of the cemetery. And that's about it. I'm quiet. Thank you.
The opening of the cemetery is always a great experience.
It's fabulous.
It is.
And
Great.
also, they clean some of the tombstones too. So can read a little more. We still have more to do, but we're getting there. And thank you to the DPW. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to say, okay.
Oh, no, go.
I just wanted to thank the DPW. Anytime we've had any problems with the cemetery with our winds and they were there. You call them up, they were there the next day cleaning things up. So thank you very much for that. And also for our tree planting. They worked so hard that day digging the holes for our trees. So a big shout out to them. Thank you. That's it. I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask you, the kiosk by the cemetery, will you have that filled with the pamphlets?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of leakage over the winter, waiting for the snow to die, and then speaking to, I think Nancy spoke to Vince, Mr. Cahill, in can they tighten it up a bit?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it will yeah, hopefully we'll have things in there for the opening of the cemetery.
Great, that would be great.
Councilman Grotzky.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I have nothing to report.
Okay, I think I got everyone. Resolutions. Are there any resolutions that need to be pulled out for further discussion? Councilwoman Sandhuben.
I'd like to request that Resolution 133 be a roll call vote.
Okay, I will pull that out for a separate vote.
I'm sorry, 133? Is
Yes.
that what you said? Okay, thank you.
At this time, I would ask for a motion to open to the public.
Motion.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, we are now open. All we ask is that you give us your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes to talk about anything regarding the Borough of New Milford.
Okay, Jeff Delvecchio, you are,
Mr. Delvecchio, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Jeffrey Delvecchio, 794 Mabee Street. I'm here as the Vice Chair of the Environmental Commission. Just wanted to say thank you to all of you, the Mayor and Council, for all the work you put in organizing the event. Notably, Councilwoman Sandhusen. I don't think we could have done it without her. Also, I see Vince Cahill is signed on now. I'd like to thank him and the DPW for the work that they did down at the New Milford Woods. You know, it looks great down there. The signs look great. You know, the pathways are nice. So much different than the last time I had been there, which was years ago. I like the mayor said, I learned a lot being there yesterday, especially from former chairwoman Lauren. She really enlightened me as to how much work went into preserving those woods, and it's something that, you know, generations from now can appreciate. And again, I just wanted to say thank you. I'm looking forward to the Environmental Commission working much more closely with the DPW and with the governing body. I think we can do great things in the future. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Vince.
Hello, Mr. Cahill.
Let me say that the Lauren that Mr. Delvecchio was referring to is Lauren Mehrlein, who was chair of the Environmental Commission for many years. And in her speech the other day, she referenced Diane Cardinale, which many people who will see this meeting may remember. She fought vehemently for environmental protections in New Milford.
Yep. And the tree farm is named after her.
That's right, it is.
We have the Diane Cardinale Tree Farm. Is there any other members of the public that wish to comment?
I don't see anybody else that wishes to comment at this time, Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion to close to the public. I'd like to ask for a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. At this time, I would ask for a consent on resolutions 2021:129 through 2021:132, including 2021:134
And 135.
And 135.
and 135.
So
Can I get a
moved.
motion?
Motion
Second.
to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Can I get a motion for :2021:133?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Starkey Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
No.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Is there any other business before this council in open? If not, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going into closed session. So when we come out of closed, we will be adjourning. No action will be taken. So may I get a motion to go into closed?
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Good night.
Continue to be safe and happy upcoming Mother's Day.